Alright, global people. Now this is JP, where we do have now the double drop event for the holy relic materials, and we are going to show you guys how to farm them up pretty quickly, just for people who are missing out on these holy relics. Now the really cool thing about this is now for Nidhogg, you'll be able to get double the amount of rewards. So the people who still haven't been able to farm up Nidhogg yet, or have been waiting for this event to farm up Nidhogg, this is going to be your perfect time to do so. And then you also have the other ones as well in case you are missing them. But we're going to be going through all of the teams you want to use to pretty much farm up the demonic beast. Now the one that we're going to start off with is the bird. Now the bird, this is the team I like to use, where pretty much you're just going to be farming through this easy and fast with Roxy double damage hit. Because remember guys, with Roxy, if she or a human character crits, they will get hit with explosive damage, which is really nice at going through the demonic beast damage cap. And again, Roxy human team is really nice for multiple of the demonic beasts, just because how fast of her clear is when you do crits. So this is the team we're going to be using for the bird, featuring Escanor, Vaughn, Arthur, and then also Roxy, who is the main character for the human team. And then it's going to be our gear set featuring attack crit, HP crit, and attack crit. And you're going to be using this artifact card set, which is the Mayo one, where we get 15% more attack related stats if you are using the same race character. Now again, this is just the human team, but there are multiple teams you can use, especially against the bird. Like there's the demon teams featuring DK Meliodas. There are also the unknown teams if you want to use Magilda or Albedo. So you don't have to pretty much use up the human team, but for people who really want to farm up fast, I really like the human team. But again, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe again, and let's see. Alright, so here we are with the demonic beast, pretty much speed farming. Now what I like to use for the demonic bird is definitely the human team. That's because Roxy gives you that extra damage once you crit, and it's really nice for players who want to speed farm, just because again, remember on floor 2 phase 2, you have to have like a double damage hit or a stance to pretty much withstand that floor. So Roxy is really nice to just speed farm through it with multiple single target attack characters. Again, you just want to utilize characters who can pretty much just crit the entire time, just so you can break through the damage cap and through the boss's defenses. Now again, this team is a little bit, I wouldn't say expensive, but he definitely have some characters that you probably already own, just because again, like the human team, if you've been really liking grandcross, you most likely have LR Escanor. You should have Roxy, should have been on like 30 banners. Garrus Arthur was the newest URR, which a lot of people did summon for. And then Transcendent Bond, let's be honest, Transcendent Bond has recently been on a lot of fest banners, so you most likely have them. So we got the floor 2 right here. As you can see how fast I've been just going through this. You're just spamming a lot of single target attack cards, like without even trying. Again, most of the time your character just crits, so that's why when it comes to this team, it's gonna be really nice. So you just spam single targets left, right. Now you might be asking, so yo, like what is some replacement characters you can probably use for this type of team? And honestly, the characters you probably want to use instead of Chaos Arthur, I have had used Rudius before, which Rudius is a nice character. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be somebody who's gonna be like, yo, why you don't use Light Escanor or something like that, when Light Escanor only has like one single target, while LR Escanor has 2 single targets. So using LR Escanor is a lot better, just because he does have 2 single targets instead of one like Light Escanor. And again, we're going to the final one. Again, most of the gameplay I show you guys is just going to be me speeding up the footage, kind of like double speed. So this one took about 7 minutes to complete the whole thing, but in double speed it's gonna be like 1 minute, right? But not 1 minute, 3 minutes, because again, it didn't take that long to defeat the bird. The bird is like super easy. It's one of the first demonic beasts. Usually a lot of players can easily beat it without even needing the main character, which is like Magilda, for it. So we're just gonna break through, spam our single targets left, right. And again, chaos starts to just blasting through, and you get the explosive damage right there. And then this is gonna be the end of the video right here. As you're gonna go for the chaos start, the ultimates. He will revive because he did get the revive passive. And this should be GG, man. Again, this is why I use the human team for the bird, just because it's really, really good. Roxy is definitely a must just for a passive, so keep that in mind. But yeah, GG, boys. Alright, so this is the team that I've been really enjoying using for the deer for farming up, and that is the unknown team. Now, when it comes to me, whatever character that is really good for the demonic beasts, I like to pair alongside of their other races or the same race character. So Yennefer is the character that's made for the deer, but she is unknown. So I like to make an unknown team just because it does benefit in terms of Freyr, who Freyr does have a double damage ultimate, and he can give base stats because of his holy relic for each unknown that's on the field. So you're gonna get a whopping 20% base stats for everybody. And then you also have Glass and Victoria, who are the new Shield Hero collab characters who are really nice. Now Glass I really like because again, she does have 2 single targets, and it's very easy to get her pierce boost when you're using unknowns on the demonic deer. So it's very easy for her to hit damage cap. Same with Victoria. Victoria just hits so hard. So they both are 2 characters who can hit just damage cap on the demonic beast. And this is going to be the artifact cards that we're going to be using, featuring Mayo one, where you get 15% attack with stats, which is going to be really nice. And then it's going to be our gear set, featuring all attack crit damage except on Jormungandr, because Jormungandr really never crits. So that would be the only character who's not going to be using attack crit damage. Again, this is not the team you really want to try to use. Like, you can use multiple teams, like I've said in the bird video, or you can use like characters like the demon team with featuring DK Meliodas. You can also use the human team featuring like Escanor, Green Escanor, Light Escanor as well, if I can find them. Like Light Escanor, or you know, I have seen people troll with like the goddesses and stuff like that. Again, it all depends on you and what you like to use. Again, I just like to use the unknown team just because it's really nice. And again, these characters can be replaceable too. That's on this unknown team as well too. Like Victoria, you can use Milim instead, which Milim was let me see where she at. Milim was free, so she's really good in doing damage. Glass just another green character. So if you don't want to use Glass, you can just use another different type attribute character, like a Tyr, who's also red, or you know, you can use a green Freya. It all depends on you what you want to try to use. All right, so this time we on the demonic deer. Now the deer, I'm not gonna lie to you, the deer is always super tricky to play against in demonic beast. That's because, let's be honest, man, it's kind of the more annoying one because it has this color wheel gimmick. So you're forced to use 3 attributes, being red, green, and blue. For me, I like to use the unknown team just because of the fact that Jormungandr, the one who is really good for the demonic beast, is unknown. Again, I know there's a lot of players who probably like using teams like featuring the humans, maybe the sins and stuff like that. But me, I just like to use the unknown just because I just like how strong it is, especially when you're using like all 4 to give you more self-based stats, especially if you're using Freyr, right? Because Freyr Holy Relic does give you base stats. And also been really liking Glass as well for this too, because she does do a lot of good damage. I guess the only thing that's weird about Glass is for her own soul passive, because it could be pretty hard to like pull off. But since it's just an easy demonic beast, you really don't want to care too much about her soul stacks and stuff like that, or trying to do it at the perfect moment. She's gonna hit hard regardless, especially when it comes to Jormungandr being there. So that's one thing you shouldn't really worry about, is how hard Glass hits and stuff like that, or her soul stacks and where she's stacking it at. But yeah, this is gonna be the hardest one, just because again, you are dealing with not only damage caps but also the color wheel, so it's very hard to like speed through it like you want to. So right here, we're just using up you want to use up your basic cards you don't care about. Also, the one thing is the issue is that there's no neutral type character who can like work for all 3 of the attributes for the color wheel. So again, it's gonna make it very hard, especially if you don't pull the cards you actually need. That's why I say, like, with this comes to this demonic beast, no one really can speed farm it. Like, it's, again, this demonic beast is easy, but it's ain't like you can just speed through it like you can do the other floors, or not the floors, the other demonic beasts. Just because you got to deal with the Clover shenanigans and aiming for the right moment. So we're just gonna be using this card up. Again, with this, should finish you off. And we get the worst passive possible. Now, this is the worst passive to get, which is the old gauge one. And this could make it run a little bit longer, depending on what characters you are using. Usually, I like to have an ultimate, just so if I get like Freyr ultimate or my Victoria ultimate, I'm stacked crazy in terms of damage. But since we got the old gauge one, we're just gonna deal with it. So this again is where you're probably never gonna get a chance to ult ever, whenever you play on the floor 3. And again, it is the worst one to get, unfortunately. But we gonna make it work. Now this one, what you gotta worry about is on the last floor, which is like, was it like phase 4? What you want to end up doing is that he has a thing where he caps out damage, and then once he gets below a certain threshold, he gets a full revive. Now that could be really an issue of making you run a little bit longer, especially if you don't know how to do the damage calculation for your attacks. So if you accidentally hit a little bit too hard, you could force his revive on accident. And I have done this while showcasing this team right here, is I accidentally forced the revive, which did make them run a little bit longer. But you want to just make sure that you keep a Jormungandr card that removes all his buffs, because he does get a dodge buff if you do deal with that, because he does get a dodge buff once after he gets his what's it called, his HP back. I don't know, I couldn't think about it for a second. I'm like, wait, his HP, because it usually takes like a couple of turns. So usually you want this to be your final turn right here. But if you accidentally do the damage cap thing, you just want to keep Jormungandr single target. As you see, I used mine's up because I thought I could kill. So I was trying to use Jormungandr card, but I did way too much damage with glass. Glass hit way too hard for me. So I gotta hope I get another Jormungandr card, which I do get, which does remove the buffs. So now that kind of saved the run a little bit. Again, it did make it a little bit longer, unfortunately. But this should be GG right here. Again, Deer still pretty annoying, but again, it's still pretty easy. Like, Jormungandr with a Holy Relic just helps so much. But yeah, GG. All right, now this is the demonic dogs. And again, I know, man, I know I've been really freaking promoting the Shield Hero collab characters, which is Victoria and Glass and Freyr and then Red Thonar. Let's be honest, man, you probably don't want to try to use this type of team for the dogs. Most people I've seen, they just rock the human team. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Again, you already seen the gear sets that I use, but most people, they just rock a human team. Let me show you guys. They usually rock like some light Escanor, or yeah, that's how they usually do. They use light Escanor or Roxy, and then you can probably now use Chaos Arthur too. This is probably the team you probably want to try to use for the demonic dogs. But I've been really promoting the Victoria team in Glass just because I've been really liking their damage output. But this is probably the team you probably want to use, because again, you are using a full human team featuring for Thonar. You could use like LR Escanor too. You could use LR Escanor too, who's also really nice at doing damage. But yeah, I just been promoting the freaking unknown team. And again, with these sets, it's gonna be pretty much the same thing with like attack crit, HP crit damage, and HP crit resist on Thonar, so you don't get hit with crits. But this is probably the team you really want to try to use. Most people use light Escanor just because he does have an AoE ultimate at the very end, where you can just blast the dogs with an AoE ultimate. So you're most likely gonna use the LR. You're gonna use this Escanor, light Escanor, instead of the LR one. But if you really want to, you could, because again, Arthur does have an AoE ultimate himself. So it's not like you really need to. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. For me, I like to use the this one if you're not using the same race characters. But if you're using the full human team, you can just use the Mael one, which is the one where you get 15% attack related stats. You probably already seen it before, but for people who don't know what it look like, it's this one. And you get like that 15% attack related stats if you're using the same race allies. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. And again, I'm gonna be using the unknown, not this human team, but for people who don't have that unknown team, human team, really good. All right, so this time we're gonna be running the dogs. Now I'm not gonna lie to you, when it comes to the dogs, I really enjoy playing against them with the unknown team. I know I said before, like depending on what character is really good for the demonic beast in terms of the best characters that's made for it, I like to use that team specifically for that as well. Like, you know, you got Jormungandr on the deer, so I like to use the unknown team. You have Miguelda for the bird, so I like to use an unknown team. Now this one does feature Thonar, who is a human character, so I do recommend if you are going to rock humans, I recommend you rocking humans instead of what I'm using unknowns. Unknown is only if you really have like a really built team for it. Like I have Glass 6'6", I have Vittoria 6'6", so my ultimate hits like a truck. But unfortunately for not too many people, I have like built out Glass and Vittoria. It's just a fast team that I like to run. Again, usually you want to try to push for like Vittoria's ultimate instead, or even Freyr's. But if I have a moment where I have Glass ultimate, I just want to use it up. So it's not like you actually need Glass ultimate to be 6'6" or anything like that. It's just that at that moment I had accidentally got like Glass ultimate. So I know from like playing so many times on the dogs that Glass at 6'6" does one shot. But usually it don't matter if you get like a Freyr 6'6" ultimate. Usually you're gonna blast through them. Again, the human team, if you are gonna run a human team, they do feature Light Escanor. So with Light Escanor, he usually uses his ultimates on that last floor to just one shot. So again, we're just gonna blast through him right here. And again, with Glass, she hits like a truck. This is just my personal farm team. All right, I'm probably gonna show you guys recommendations of other teams as well, but for me personally, I use this type of team just because again, you just do so much damage, and then this finishes off, and that's GG. See how easy that is using this type of team for me. All right, so let's see what we got here. This is gonna be the last floor right here. Again, I just always do the same play I usually do, where I'm just going for both of my Glass cards right here, just because it does hit like mostly damage cap. Obviously it's not perfect, but it still does its job. So we just going for this and this. We just trying to push for our ult gauge real quick, and then see ya. So Thorna gets frozen right here. Just fine with me, because again, we still getting our ult gauge. Unfortunately, we didn't get Freyr ultimate because he got locked at the end, but it should be fine. Again, it's just gonna make the run a little bit longer. It's not gonna be too bad a run, and it's kind of the worst passive to get because he does lower your stats a little bit with this one. But usually you can still just finish him off, just because you get so much stats from Vittoria, and then Glass give you more stats. Like look at that 83k attack, and now this should be GG. And again, this is just. And now we on the final one, which we're going to be using the Goddess team on Nidhogg. Nidhogg, the Goddess team, let's be honest, is the most stacked team we've ever seen. They gave so many characters that are meant for the Nidhogg that pretty much if you're not using the Goddesses, why not? Because this team is the most consistent team. This team will allow you to farm with the Nidhogg pretty easily without any trouble. Like you can have the worst RNG possible but you'll still be able to defeat Nidhogg because how powerful and how built your team is. So you're going to use Freya, Margaret, Liz, and then Mael. Again, LR Liz is one you really need. So we have a attack crit on Freya, attack crit on Margaret, HP / defense on Liz, and I got switch back my gear, but it's attack crit on Mael. I had it like this for a meme video that you probably gonna hear me talk about in the video. Oh, I think my Freya took my attack crit damage, but this is how it is. This is the gear set you want to use: attack crit damage on your Mael, and then use this artifact card set, which is the Mael one, where you get 15% more attack related stats if you're using the same race allies. Now, you might be asking yourself, why is Freya on this goddess team? And that's because with her holy relic, she then counts as a goddess character. So that's why she is on the goddess team, because with her holy relic, she will be counted as a goddess character, and she'll be able to remove the stances. So if you don't have her holy relic, you might have to switch to another character for this slot, because again, she is going to be a goddess character. Maybe you could use like a Lat instead, just so you can have another full goddess team. Or even what's the other character? Red Tarmiel. Red Tarmiel could be actually really nice. And then you just have Margaret and Mael for the stance cancels. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Again, hopefully you guys enjoy. All right, so this is gonna be a final one, because again, on Nidhogg you can finally get two of the resources. Now I'm just gonna be showing you guys the goddess team, which goddess team, let's be honest, is the fastest team. Well, I wouldn't say the fastest team, but it's just the more consistent team for the Nidhogg, right? Because you have all the stance cancels. You have the whole team literally just made to defeat Nidhogg, right? And then Mael even got his holy relic too, so he's gonna hit a lot harder too. But yeah, we are just gonna use the goddess team. Again, I have made plenty of other videos featuring the DK Meliodas, and which I really like the DK Meliodas team a lot better. But for you guys, I'm just gonna showcase the normal goddess team, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you probably already have super built out, just because Mael has returned. You have Margaret, who's a really cool character. Again, a lot of good characters have came out, so for the most part, most players are going to have these characters. And again, the goddess team is just a more consistent team if you're trying to farm up. Is it the fastest one where you can just go crazy with attacking? No, but you're pretty much guaranteed to not lose the run at all, no matter how bad your RNG is. And that's the good thing about this team, is that it's just so stacked in terms of characters and units and passives, that it just works so well. Like, you have Red Mark, who can stance cancel, who can remove the stacks. You have Freya, who can remove the stacks. You have Liz, who can heal and give you ultimate gauge. And then you also have Mael, who can give you crazy damage and damage reduction and stance cancel on the ultimate as well too. There's 3 characters where you can have possibly the stance cancel on. Like, it's just so much you can do. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just a pretty stacked goddess team. Now again, we just want to try to go for cleanse right here, stance cancel, and another stance cancel at the end. See how easy that is just to get rid of all his damage reduction stacks right there, bruh. Like, that's what I'm saying. With this type of team, it's too easy, my guy. It's too easy. Now, yeah, you get a piece of damage dealt, but because of Mael's ultimates, you can't really do much. You wanna know the crazy thing about this too, asshole? I recently recorded a video because I was testing out some teams with Shoutir, because people have been telling me to use Shoutir for the squirrel, and I was doing a little bit trolling. So I was like, what happens if I use Mael on the squirrel? And I'm not gonna lie, I do have a recording or video of me defeating the squirrel using Mael. I know, it's kind of crazy thinking about it. I don't know if I'm gonna upload that video or not, just because, like, I don't know how consistent the team is or how good it actually is, because I would just literally I was literally just trolling making the video. I was just like, let me just try something, and it actually like worked out really well, just because how powerful my ult is. So again, I don't know if I'm gonna do the video. I don't know if I'm gonna do a video on it. You guys can leave a comment down below if I should release that video of me using my ult for the squirrel. It's crazy, man. It's a crazy video. Like, you wouldn't believe it until you see it with your own eyes. It's pretty funny, man. I think it's not gonna be as consistent for most players, just because again, it's just gonna be very hard for you to probably tank for most of your hits, right? I think that's just the issue when it comes to like Mael, is that you're just have hard time of critting, or not critting, surviving hits. But sometimes that be the issue. All right, so we're gonna go for this then, and Mael just gonna finish you off. Now we're just gonna go to the final floor. Now this also is really nice because I have Mael's Holy Relic. Now Mael's with the Holy Relic does give him a lot more damage, so you are able to clear this phase 1 first turn. Even though you was able to do this before, I could never have figured it out on how to finish them off on this phase 1. But you can literally just one turn them. But I heard people say they did have done it before. But now that I have Mael's Holy Relic, it's a lot more consistent and easier when it comes to me. But again, I have heard people say like they was able to do that before, which is congrats to you. Me, I was not trying to do all that. I'm just saying, personally, me, I was not trying to do all that. I just did the run and just chilled out. But again, yeah, you can one turn that floor now, which is really nice. More consistently probably with Mael. All right, let's go for this then. Another heal ult. Okay, he just targets my Freya again. Okay, you just stance cancel ult and go for another buff. Again, the only issue when it comes to like using Margaret is that she only has one attack card, which is a stance cancel, which you don't really want to try to do on this floor. Just because the stance cancel, does build back his gauge back up, which is not really good for you. Like, you want to try to make sure you finish him off as soon as possible. And he survived with 1 HP, which is crazy. So we just go for this then. So we ult and we stance cancel right here. He's gonna be gone because the damage happens before his stance cancel gauge goes back up. So this time we're just gonna ult with Mael. And we're gonna ult. How much damage is he gonna do? 10 million. 4 million. Golly. Man's did 10 million to the freaking demonic beast. Holy snap. This man has literally no HP, bro. Holy snap. This man has like no defensive stats. All right, 1 million. Little change. 1.2 million. And we're gonna fill our ult right back up. Dang, took away my gauge on Freya. I was gonna do my best ultimate again on him, just so we can keep reducing the HP. So we just go for this then. Man's did 2 million right there as well. Yeah, I didn't even have my Liz buff or anything like that on me. I don't even think I did. Actually, I did. Let's see what the Margaret buff, how much damage from my ultimate be if I use the Margaret ult. Well, not the ult, her buff. 11.2 million. Oh my god, we just hitting like crazy damage caps. And now this is gonna be GG. So hopefully you guys enjoyed me show you guys the fastest team for each demonic beast. Really fun teams. Again, good luck on farming and good luck on the labyrinth. This really, guys, and I'm out. Peace.